Alright, so guys, in this video we're changing out the compressor. It's not good. Have the charges in the system, so basically replacing it today with this new one over here. So the first thing we have to make sure that we do is to disconnect the power, the main. It's all been shut off. So the entire system is down right now. So we're basically taking out this compressor. So you can see we started to disconnect the main, everything, step by step. Alright, so one of the main thing you want to do after these hoses are disconnect, we're going to have to take them. You don't want anything to be in the line, okay? Very important that your lines are protected.
I'll tell you.
So, as I said, you want to make sure cover your hole. Alright, so we remove the compressor right now, so we're setting up the gauge to do some soldering. Alright, so just want to show you that's oxygen and acetylene, because we're going to basically do some high pressure brazing. Alright, so that's the new compressor over there. We're going to replace it, as you can see. So we're applying that cream. It's help for the cooling. We want to protect the valve that's coming off. Right now we're just disconnecting that pipe. Want to make sure that it is safe. For a reason about that too, right? We're not going to basically have another one for that. So just taking off this compressor to put on the next one. So what basically is doing now is heating up the solder. Pull it out, you see that? Very simple. It's going to do the same thing for the bottom piece. So the rod that's on it is wet, so basically for water purpose to help cool down the heat. And these copper pipes are very delicate, so you have to handle with very extreme care. So this is something I want to point out to you, that this one does not have the bushing in it. So when you're replacing it, you gotta have to make sure that you reuse these, okay? If you don't have this in it, it's gonna have vibration and you don't want that. So just give a clearer view right now. These are the studs that's gonna be installed on, alright? So remember, you have to shut the system down. Have to make sure that there's no refrigerant escaping. And I said, you don't want anything in these lines. You have to make sure these lines are clean, so you have to make sure that you cover them as soon as they're open. Alright, so basically, let me show you something now at a closer point. So while we apply the heat, what the heat does is to melt the solder so we can remove this. Now this one is not removing, so basically I'm just going to have to just cut it off. Alright, so I'm going to cut it as low as possible so we can reuse it. Alright, so with this right now, there's not enough space, so I'll basically have to be just back and forth with it. Alright, just take my time to swivel it off. Alright, so this is exactly where it's going to be fitting. right here. Main thing I want to find out to you, there's an O-ring in that wasn't. I want to make sure that you remove it. Very important. Alright, so the water is to help to cool it down. It's very hot. Want to make sure that as much heat is prevented as possible to go to the sensor. After the line is properly cool, you're just testing it to make sure that it's cooled properly. Then we're going to move on to the next soldering. So that's the test mirror to check to make sure that there is no hole in it. That mirror helps you to realize that, yeah, it's smallest a hole, you can see it. Alright, so we just installed it, so we're going to mount it down properly now and secure everything. So basically just got to reverse the process of taking out all the things, the connections.
You don't know
Alright, so we're putting on the seal to make sure that there is no leakage when the refrigerant goes in. It's a very high pressure system, so we have to make sure it's secure properly. And that seal there has to make sure that it's in place. As you can see right here, I'm going to put the seal in also. We're going to do the same thing right there. Alright, so when you turn in the copper pipe, you have to be extremely careful because it can be cracked at any given time, so you have to be extremely careful. You still get ice, man. Alright guys, so this is it. Come to the completion of installing it. We're just basically doing the fine tune right now. Yeah, this is it basically.